keeping it moving here, we're going to the Big Ten now. And Connor Moore, who was the top available tackle in the transfer portal at this point, he was 12th at the beginning of the process. And he played at Montana State the last few years, was two-time FCS All-American, and he's headed to Michigan State here. Michigan State's added a lot here on the offensive line through the portal, but first-team All-Big Sky honors, has played both guard and tackle, started all 12 games in 2023 as a freshman, so he's going to have a couple years of eligibility left here, and was the number 129 prospect in the portal.
Yeah, and we've seen guys like this have success, obviously in college, right? But also in the pros. You think of Spencer Brown for the Buffalo Bills, Trevor Penning for the New Orleans Saints. So offensive tackle is a very unique position in that there's only so many guys with the height and the athleticism to play this position at a high level. But there are those guys at the FCS level, usually more late bloomers, maybe a big tight end that blows up, right? So that does happen. Connor Moore from Millbury, Ohio, kind of right in the middle of Big Ten country, but develops late. He's a four-star transfer, was certainly not a four-star coming out, pretty much an unranked player, but a two-time All-America. Got an assist from Tom Izzo on the recruiting front. Goes to the basketball game, commits shortly thereafter. He was on the radar for a lot of big schools, about Auburn in the SEC, Missouri in the SEC, Michigan in the Big Ten, and then Cincinnati. It was originally scheduled to visit Ohio State. That visit gets canceled. So there were some schools in the mix for this player. Very productive. First team all big guy. Playing on the guard. Tackle. Michigan State. And just watching him play, the thing that jumps out is the athleticism, the quickness, the suddenness. I don't see a ton of power at this level, which, that's one of those things that you see number 72. I don't know. You're not going to really know how much power and strength he has until he's out there in those practices in the Big Ten, pushing up against those very physical Big Ten defensive ends and defensive tackles and linebackers. So we'll see how that looks when it's like on like. But just from watching him here and some of these clips that were posted, I think the twitch, the fluidity, the ability to get to the second level, that jumps out. And that's not something that is dependent necessarily in competition. You could see when a guy can move and move with suddenness, and he does have that. So I think the question is going to be, is how much is he going to develop in an offseason from a strength standpoint? There you see him here at guard number 72. Opening up that hole. So he does have that versatility to play inside and outside. But the strength part, I think, is going to be the key. But the movement stuff, the quickness, getting out of his stance, I think that's all there. And, of course, at that level, he's been extremely productive.
Yeah, and again, Michigan State's been active in the portal in terms of offensive line. He is their fourth pickup in the portal. Matt Golban from Wake Forest, guard and center. Caleb Carter, a guard from Western Carolina, another interior lineman, Luka Vincic from Oregon State as well. So at the tackle spot, Moore will be competing with a couple returning starters there in Stanton Ramil and Ashton Lipo. But at the end of the day, I don't think a guy like him is coming in there to be a backup. So,
well, here's returning starters can mean a lot of things, right? When Notre Dame returns a lot of starters on the offensive line, it means they're probably going to be pretty good next year because they were pretty good this year. When Michigan State returns a lot of starters on the offensive line, that doesn't mean the same thing, at least this season. Of course, Michigan State has a long tradition of good offensive linemen, really, really good offensive linemen. But in terms of what they have this year, Michigan State was 120, just FBS against FBS, so excluding FCS stats. Michigan State was 120th in the nation in sack percentage. 9.5% of their dropbacks resulted in sacks when they were on the offense. So that is as bad as it gets. So it's no secret that everybody's job is on the line. They're going to bring in a lot of transfers. They're going to try to promote competition, whether it's from the FCS level, again, multiple FCS guys in that mix, guys from the ACC, guys from all over the country coming in to compete and elevate that room, because that performance as far as pass blocking was unacceptable. You got a young quarterback that you're trying to develop. You need better protection than what we saw last year.
Without a doubt. So